What's up, guys? Tonight we are going to be reading from The Bodhi Tree. If you have been watching the latest videos, you will recognize the inserts that has the golden wheel with the signs on there. The eight-spoked Dharma wheel of Buddhism. So, the Bodhi tree. Astronomically, the swastika equals the completion of the great year 24,000 solar cycle. In Hinduism, the positive redshift, the symbol with the arms pointing clockwise, the swastika is called Surya, the sun, prosperity and good luck. Negative, the counterclockwise symbol of the swastika is called Savastika, symbolizing night or tantric aspects of Kali. In Jainism, the symbol for Suparshvanatha, seventh Tirthankara, spiritual teachers and saviors. The seventh. In Buddhism, the swastika symbolizes the 108 auspicious footprints of the Buddha. Astrologically, the transition from Pisces, the feet of hell, to Aquarius, the ankles, exalted by Mercury, Buddha, ruled by Uranus, heaven, and Orion. Mystical, the goddess Saraswati, one with plenty of water, she who provides plenty of knowledge, she who helps realize the essence of self. She is the goddess of knowledge, music, art, wisdom, and learning. She is celebrated in the Rig Veda with having healing and purifying powers of flowing abundant waters, Aquarius. She is depicted dressed in white, light and knowledge. Saraswati, the swastika, has 4 hands which represents manas, mind and sense. Buddhi, intellect and reasoning. Citta, imagination, creativity. Ahamkara, self-consciousness and ego. Her 4 hands hold the Pustaka, book or script of life. Mala, rosary, garland, Aquarian water pot, and Vinna, musical instrument. She is Aquarius, and Vishnu, Mercury, exalted. Both represent the Sattva Guna, good path. The Vasant Panchami festival is associated with goddess Saraswati, Aquarius. The famous festival is celebrated on the 5th day of Magha, the 11th month, February equals Aquarius. The Magha bountiful lunar mansion is associated with the Regulus Leo, the lion's heart. The green of the golden symbolized by the royal throne of Osiris, the Egyptian ruler of Aquarius. Vishnu, the purple shift, is the 10 avatars. Matsya, the uni-horned fish, pineal in purple. Kurma, the turtle, green of the heart. Varaha, boar, the earth descending due west. Narasimha, lion man. Leo, Aquarius. Vamana, dwarf, Mercury exalted. Paramshurama, great hunter, Orion, and his Achilles heel, redeemed from the ruler he exalted. Rama, developed man, ideal man, fighter, Aries, Mars ruled sun, exalted. The Gemini Navamsha of Prometheus, Mrigashira, that are talk, has been trying to expound it. Krishna, the cowherd prince, crystallized Christ consciousness, Taurus in the bull's eye of the Milky Way, screening the all-seeing sphere of the you are being. The W of the horns and the maiden of the mirror, the mountain of Capricorns. And this scene that sings a lyra, a lyric, a lyra, the words that flow like Mariah. So back to the text, the crystallized Christ consciousness, which was the cowherd prince, Buddha, Mercury exalted in Aquarius, and Kalki, the turner of the wheel of light. The Dharma wheel, the eight-spoked wheel, is the noble eightfold path. The royalty Chakravartin, turner of the wheel, is the Kalki, the turner of the wheel. The cardinal solar cross and ordinal galactic cross reveal the great year and three jewels. The pillars of Ashoka equals the Aquarian pole, 4 lions, and 4 feathers of Aquarius, the Egyptian shoe. Vishnu Buddha, the ancient sage, Parashara, the limping sage, the seer of verses, Rig Veda, speaker of the Vishnu Purana, states Vishnu is the god of cosmic intelligence, the preserver and pervader, the universe, and the main male deity associated with Mercury Buddha. Other texts specifically state that Mercury Buddha is also called Vishnu in equal. The Great Year, the holy festival, the Holi festival with the eye, is celebrated as a triumph of good, God over evil, Devi, devil, in honor of Narasimha, man lion, the 4th avatar of Vishnu. Vishnu incarnated in the form part lion, Leo, and part man, Aquarius. The lion, Leo, is the orangey yellowish shift, and the man is a red shift. The Aquarius is blue. To destroy evil and end religious persecution and calamity on earth, the green shift, virgin heart, thereby restoring through the secret of the magenta light. I think that's this color. Dharma, balance. Hinduism refers to Dharma as the eternal and inherent nature of reality, a cosmic law underlying right behavior and social order. The nature of reality regarded as universal, as a universal truth taught by the Buddha. The teachings of Buddhism would be the Buddhism definition thereof. The contemplation of the great year, the galactic plane of the ecliptic, the galactic bar, the celestial equator, the return of the secret of light was captured in the many versions of the Aquarian legends of Narasimha, Man Lion, and Namuchi Orion. The Narasimha legend. The most popular Narasimha mythology is the legend that protects Vishnu's devotee Prahlada and creatively destroys Prahlada's demonic father and tyrant Hiranyakashipu, the powerful brother of evil Hiranyaksha, who had been previously killed by Vishnu. who hated Vishnu for killing his brother. Hiranyakashipu gained special powers by which he could not be killed during the day or night, inside or out, by any weapon or by any man. Endowed with new powers, Hiranyakashipu creates chaos, persecutes all devotees of Vishnu, including his own son. Namuchi the Brave stated in the Katha Saritasagaras, chapter 46, Namuchi is the name of a Danava who was reborn as the Asura Prabala, and after that as Prabhasha, a minister of Suryaprabha. Namuchi was devoted to charity and very brave, and did not refuse to give anything to anybody that asked, even if he were his enemy. He practiced asceticism as a drinker of smoke for 10,000 years, and obtained as a favor from Brahma that he should be proof against iron, stone and wood. Orion, the bounty stone and the cedar forest. Then Namuchi, Orion, ruler of Aquarius, frequently conquered Indra, Jupiter, ruler of Pisces, and made him flee. So the Kasyapa, Kasyapa, entreated him and made him make peace with the gods. Namuchi the giant stated in the Mahabharata Adi Parva chapter 65 stanza 22. The giant Orion was the son of Prajapati Kasyapa and his wife Danu. This fierce giant was killed by Indra Jupiter under the leadership of Namuchi Orion. A great army of giants invaded the realm of the gods. Indra came up with an army of devas. Three the giants were defeated. Though the giants were defeated in the battle, Indra was not able to kill Namuchi. He saved himself from the attack of Indra. Namuchi got into the radiance of the sun and hid himself there, the heliacal rising of Orion. He is invisible then in Leo. Indra found him out and made a treaty with him, the conditions of which were said by Indra, O noble giant, I will not kill you by wet thing, Ardra and the teardrop, that wet thing, the pushya of the Jupiter and that nourishing. O noble giant, I will not kill you by wet thing or dry thing, in the night or in the day. What I say is true. According to this treaty, it became impossible for Indra to kill Namuchi either with wet things or with dry things, and either in the day or in the night. Only when Indra had agreed to these conditions did Namuchi come out. The battle continued and Indra drove away Sumba and Nisumba, the elder brothers of Namuchi, who went to Patala. Indra Jupiter ran after Namuchi Orion, and in the evening Indra found him hiding on the seashore due west, and killed him with the foam of the sea. As Indra had violated the condition of the treaty, the severed head of Namuchi, 29th August, beheading of John the Baptist, followed Indra. With this, Indra incurred the sin of Brahmatya, killing a Brahmin. To get remission from this sin, Indra approached Brahma. He was advised to bathe in Aruna Sangama, and doing so Indra got remission of his sin. From that day onward, Aruna Sangama became a holy bath. Tirtha. Namuchi, the army captain of Hiranyasaka, there's a crack on my phone right here. Hiranyaksa. Do we pronounce the H, guys? Comment down below. I am not, like I said, like reading these things, hearing it when other learned scholars speak in the languages that they are educated to provide these knowledges in, and then trying to, duplicate and imitate. It's just like it's not happening for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I mean, like, yeah, I'm trying to be accurate and I'm trying to like have a like rhythm to it and everything, but yeah, like it's just like the whole of the I am the poster of this syndrome of just internalizing what I'm externalizing and watching myself grow and glow along the way. The antikarana of how all of these things swayed, right? So let's just take a breather for a moment. Okay, so I'm back. I just had to kind of like gather my place in the story just for a moment. Because yeah, I don't know where I was going there. It was just like a whole trip, right? The whole feeling into it and trying to have like rhythms of certain articulations on it, even though I made like probably like so many Sanskrit offending mistakes right now. What I'm basically trying to like iterate is in terms of a theory that, like it's like, when everybody adds to this space and you come into certain spaces where it's like, oh, there's my idea, but they did it better, or they have just like this whole different perception that like that was always kind of like my Chiron to the 11th house in that particular ciphering of myself perspective through the whole of where I felt certain things were positioned and where certain influences were coming from, and what the astrological house taught me to kind of like figure out where to find your karma and your work and your reflections and your outputs and your functional lights and the signs that produce them, the way the five organized principles of I keep saying the five organized principles, but yeah, the five principles of organized complexity says. And literally like the burp that just came out of like the blurpee of myself, that was just like this like, gosh, like you don't know if it's like choking down or burning up. And even these words, right, they look like these like Towers of Babel. That's why I like screenshot it like that also, because like I just feel so petrified at like getting any of these meanings and all the thousands of interpretations wrong. Although there will be these very defined meanings that you can find somewhere in a grimoire and a letter that someone wrote once as per their memoir that was hidden from us, and then it came out on a movie, and just like then you finally know the reason for a war and a Y and just the R to the M and the I, and like, you know what I mean, when you were like this kid who used to like play with the numbers in his mind and just never wanting to like be castrated from that creative. I almost want to say it was like this warping ability that I had, right? Like just like trying to fit it all in, but like create a new thing. And whatever human design says about channels, whatever splitting notions occultism says about channels, even this YouTube channel, it's just a metaphor for that same word to be loaded with all the feeding into it of like, it's all just a demonic channel. And then like, what is a daemon and a day moon and a daimon and a just like a dead star or a fallen star, like the Truman Show. Like it's like you can't be ungrateful for the light that was here now that it's load shedding. Like, why are you sitting here being ungrateful that it's dark, wishing for the light, and like hating the fact that it's dark because it's not light now? You know what I mean? And it's like, ugh, let's get back to the story, guys. So I'm gonna like read that last part over where we started with Namuchi the giant. Stated in Mahabharata Adi Parva in chapter 65, stanza 22, the giant Orion was killed by Prajapati Kasyapa by his wife Danu. That's interesting because Dynus reminds me of Vishaka and what we've been saying about that. As it also relates to the sunset and the pentagram magic of all of that, and the light code lockdown of the technology, language, crystal, alles, like Enneagram matrix adds up to a 9, but you see sixes having sex and all of that. You know, and it's just like, oh, it's so Taurian, biting the apple, but it's also so Cancerian. The apple biting back. Oh my god. So, yeah, guys, these overlaying ciphers, these words, these worlds that just, you know. So, what is the reason? And beyond the reason, you know, how does it work? What is the fundamental geometries that's like always producing these mirrors of perfection in this weird way that it's like you almost want to like, it's like that's the trick. It's the fact that the your mind, or what they've now told you is your mind and your consciousness and all of that, your gut brain, your nervous system brain, your mermaid inside body, your sperm cell inside the egg upright a la star body thing, not thing, that's so disrespectful, your wholeness and your allness and just everything that makes you you, right? With your W that you can like bring it all together and be it all. Um, yeah, like it was like for a while, like I like lost my. It's like I lost the motivation to like uphold this drawing into myself because I was getting all this like you need to come out of your shell, you need to like externalize, you need to like stop reading all these books and being like the awkward kid, like go play with the other kids or um yeah, it was just like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like it didn't even make me uncomfortable to have an instruction. And maybe that's the six loyalist that I was in that notion of myself. Because it wasn't like I was thinking, oh, this and that, my survival, this and that. Like, no, like they were very like, I almost want to say like separately vibed memories of just like different wholenesses of my reality. And they all kind of like wheeled into each other to evolve the revolution of what I'm now like churning as creative building blocks of kind of like projecting all the potential in front of me and then like kind of like climbing that because that is what this channel is supposed to be. um that's even why I felt like it was necessary to like age restrict my content, because as much as I want to like have all this like noble gene key 12ness of whatever I can even fucking claim to like make that sound legitimate to people who watch this stuff for like astrology content. Like this is not astrology content, you know? Like this is what are the literal building words coming out of my mouth right now. And me watching that and me building with that and me seeing that, and not in an eye that is like one me. It's the double of you. It's the way I was this mirror of you. And it's like even being like told like it's like the grimoire of the Enneagram fostered a perfect MK Ultra. And then it was like that video was hinting at me. Like I could be the Pied Piper, I could be the Antichrist who is just like soothsaying, mixing all these different words, making it sound like it's legitimate because I just put a bunch of stuff in the background and somehow this matrix syncs it for me to be like this AI grimoire building. Because that's what that video was telling me at a very, I don't even want to believe it could be type of level, just in terms of like how dark I have felt like about my thoughts all my life, the way I felt like, yep, there goes another one written in the book of the angels watching me, that I somehow saw through the roof. Literally, like, this stoop right next to me, that I would be here, like, my magical thinking. It's like I could see the paint of this zinc plate roof, kind of like, yeah, it was like something out of a movie, but it was like my thoughts very cloudily painted onto like a like chiaroscuro of that like image of my memory right now, that it's just like, it's like I can remember the first time I kind of like saw a a devil in my mind with the notion of what I was told it would mean for the first time as I can recall it. And I remember like they like mentioned that it had horns and that it's like it gave this like in my mind I just like saw like if you ever saw South African money, um I just kind of like I saw this bluish black look like it was drawn with a big version of 100 Rand note embossed em, like I don't know like that watermark and like the money print textural elements of it. It was like those with the contours and the wrinkles of that vision skin that I had, right? Because it was like how these words synonymize themselves with like it was almost like I can see now what I was unconscious of them then, literally of them then, because it was like um yeah, I would think I'm learning a new word, but like the analogies that stayed in my mind and how it would make me kind of like flip flop to different other words. Um, and it was always just like my trickster Promethean not being down for the rule of the gods of Olympus spirit in my family as well. Like I was that angel child that was somehow just able to be the biggest devil. Like literally today I had a fight with my cousin where we were just like scolding on each other, and it started with something so pedantic where I literally saw this spiral of events as it was gonna happen, and I stood there literally like feeling like I don't want to get into this with her. And yeah, this is the part where I don't know what I'm admitting here. Like, did I lose control or did I just um encourage my own flow? Because it's not like I can see we were both wrong for like the language that we used or like for how vulgarly we spoke to each other, or like just like losing our cools with each other like at a totally different level than like I feel like we've ever did before, you know. And so it was just like very, yeah, I got very like personal, and I used my words to just cut her with like the very things that it's like what I didn't want to see happen to her if she like continued down that like line of thinking. Or yeah, and even if this is like a very um narcissistically decodable, listen to his voice, listen to his this, listen to his like nervousness here and how he breathes, and if it's very that, I'm sorry, but like it's because I'm feeling and I'm thinking of those types of like decodes to what I'm saying right now. Because I've just like I've never been ashamed of having pride in myself, even when I didn't have words to articulate what that was. Um, the way I just felt I glowed in the eyes of other people when I was a child, you know. Um, so I was very just spontaneous and loved to just laugh a lot. And yeah, it's like I remember it's like it was like I was a year, but I wasn't here and I was able to go somewhere else, and it's like I forgot how to feel safe in that somewhere else, but it was still just like the darkness of me being able to kind of like tune out the light. And it was like I was just like floating within an allness, and everywhere that I went, it was lit up as per my imagination, and I didn't have to like use words, or it's like there was just like whole concepts of myself experiencing what I am experiencing as just kind of like this slice in the dark. And it's like I could still have this like appreciative float for the everything, not that that was like containing and giving me the position to like vision myself experiencing that. So I don't know, is that like your Kundalini serpent like coming up towards your crown as a child, and like the birth of Mercury through Cancer's Ashlesha, I see fourth house, and we know the fall and the earth and the horse and everything that we have now been like relating to just what comes from the water onto the land. And so yeah, like, did I have a Jedi fish hooking moment? Was my creative third eye stolen in like university? Like all these things that was said like in this video, that I'm just like, yeah, it was true. It was like I've been explaining to you guys, I literally like I couldn't finish university. I didn't know what like took over me, because I've always had motivation to just like academically achieve and prove myself, because of having this like inflated notion of like build a mansion, turn this like bad feelings into gold. Like you can make gold, you can be Oprah one day. Do you know what happened to Oprah? Like these are literally stories my aunt would like tell me. Um, and just the whole poisonous stepmother milk of the Snow White that froze me to that mirror of the Athenian wisdom that it all begot, you know? Um, because it made me want to like castrate certain growths of myself, or certain diminishings of myself, or if I felt I failed in character, I needed to compensate. If I felt like I have um been overly inflated or esteemed, I needed to like humble. And it was just this constant thing. And it's like I don't blame my parents for giving me any of the experiences that I had, because it was like the basis for all of this alchemy that I now have to work with. But at the same time, what really breaks my heart is feeling like I can have these realizations, but externalizing it into the world around me, it's just not that easy. And so like I got into the notions of like, well, how do you do this work then? How do you fortify yourself? Because like when I was a child, I couldn't bear to like just like be asked by a homeless person or somebody who I could see were just very down on their luck. If I like was walking with like a KFC um little streetwise to carton or something, or like it's just like I would give it away, because I literally like I would just feel so ashamed if I if I even dared to, it's not even like I could dare to think it, because it's like the thought was there in the notion of like, wow, somebody else will not do it for this person because your mom already said this and that about like this and that and that. Like you had all these notions kind of like as a first impression, like galvanizing a person as like, this person is poor, this person is dirty, this person is um deceitful looking, this person is um what's the word that I'm looking for? But that's what I'm trying to say, like when you had the notions kind of like there, you don't meet it. Excuse me. You didn't like meet it with this like, okay, how am I gonna do this? Do they know what I'm thinking of yourself? It's just like you literally thought police and unthink what you already heard yourself think, and it's like you ask yourself, how dare you? You know? No matter everything else that could logically affirm to you, like, okay, don't feel bad if you gave and that's all you gave. Or don't feel bad if you didn't give because you needed to like take care of yourself. Like that conflict to me, it just like it never resolved. When like even today, like I feel very bad about like what I did to my cousin, because it's like even though she said very mean things to me, it's like I will always tell myself like, ah, but you can like regenerate. But what I would think of like the impact of my own words, I would feel guilty about. I feel guilty about things that people probably forgot, and I still remember that like I was a terrible person once upon a time to somebody who was good for me, maybe not always good for me, maybe they weren't good for me, and I'm just realizing that it was good in a time and a season, and it had a rhyme and a reason. But still, there's this thing of like, I don't want to throw anybody away. Even today, my dad went to hospital again because of his lung, and I just put my, like, it's not even like I can call it pride, because it's like, he asked my help. I knew he needed it. I couldn't be the person that didn't provide the help and then aggravated this very bad situation for him already. But I wasn't standing there trying to invoke praise and trying to bless him and encourage him and stuff like that. I was just trying to be a mirror of like, I see you, I hear you. Do you see and hear yourself? Because what you are trying to explain to me is something that I already know, and I've heard it, and I don't know if it's gonna make you better saying that, just because of like what my journey has been my entire life with them. It's like I always needed to find more sustaining meaning to my words to fortify my emotional validation, because they could like make that already very sensitive, abstract, ethereal notion of a self-capturing Jedi hook. They could like, it's like they could pull it out of my head and hold it like that pine cone in front of me and tell me, no, you think this, no, you think that, no, you're doing this, no, you're doing that. And then my imagination just fills in all the gaps, and like it's like I become all those alters of what they said. Now I am the bad child. I'm not the golden child anymore. oh, now I get to be the good child again because I do this and I do that, and just the whole Vishaka Purva Bhadrapada split to the Punarvasu that was my unsplit. And when my mom twirled around in the Gordons Bay house that we had once upon a time in my dream time self, where she just had this maiden beautiful dress and her feet was bare and her hair was cut to a bob, and now it's like a different story can be shared because now it was said that I blackguardly profane the high priestess and speak in coarse tones of the women and the sacred feminine, and just me having to take accountability for that. Like if you checked out my last video, just in terms of like I do feel guilty about like profaning my parents because I don't know what they are gonna mean down the years. And then I left all this like Hansel and Gretel to an enchanted forest to be devoured by your own fears. If you guys hear resonances in what I say, just in the corny of the P and the U of the IOS, that makes our day, and the Zeus and the Ptah and the Deus and the they and the Jesus and the Jesus and the South American split of the northern K and the mountain, the M and the Vav of the Ve and the W of the martyr and the N that was slayed and the A of the Aleph and the Taurus, the blade and the Critica Barani and the fire of serpent slayed and the archangel covenants of the rainbow herald and the teardrops of all our eyes that have failed in the pursuit of the zero to the one all hath made, and the fractals of beauty Hermia came in spades, and the cards of the tarot, Jan Smuts, holism and evolution prevailed as the same kind of theory that the Enneagram elucidates from Plato's cave, and the Crete of the excrete of the Maui Mariah slayed with the Punarvasu Katyoni of the island that our thumb has nailed. When we look at the feed of the U and the tube, when we see all of the air is, the Aquarius is yield, and the goat of the Capricorn to the mountain has climbed, and the poetry of my speak now once again created my rhyme. And the equilibrium that I feel is that which is good for me, as the seat now hearkened me to take a throne before thee, because the invitation of Michael has now been called, and I have to arc with the angel within myself I now behold. Because it is not me as a leader, it is not me as a six, it is not me as a number, it is not me as a mix, it is me as a spear and a destiny that I seek. It is me as the whole of the reverence I beseeched. It is the crucifixion of the pain that I want to detach from the heat. It is the infernal of heaven that reigns in the beautiful beats. It is the poetry of sky and the flitters of your feet. It is the reflections of eye and the Venus Mercury deceit. It is the waters of mountains. It is the pillar of Shu. It is the Geb of Orion. It is the ocean of mermaid you. It is the glyph of the stars that spiral towards its cut. It is the L of Mars, which the Soma elixir got. It is the castrati note. It is the peacock. It is the altar of Maui and the island Takat. It is my grandmother and the way she could hum. It was the visions that I saw around her in the calm that she sung. It is the knowing of myself that I see through my being. It is the pictures of the song that sings within my ring. It is the I and the A and the U of the gold. It is the silver and the mercury philisarum that you hold. It is the sulfur, it is the salt, it is the beguiling bittersweet. It is the alchemical crucible. It is you in frigid heat. It is the kundalini, and it is the phoenix. It is the Ouroborean serpent, and it is the unicorn tails of the uniques. It is the rainbow kids and the Gemini indigo. It is the white-black split and the chess of Aditi hose. It is the sitting on top of a crown and a spear of destiny. It is in die art of a Brittany. It is a Shravana Apollo schismatic abyss. It is the horse you rode in on. Don't let your imagination feel missed. It is your inner child, and it is what Jung told you you'd become. It is your individuation of forms from amoebas their Big Bang Theory spun. It is the wholeness and the singular. It is the line of the circle. It is the fairy of the book and the grimoire that has birched L. It is the throne of the pedestal and the altar of you. It is the mountain of your smallest and most hidden shoe. It is your strength that comes from a place unknown. It is your flame and fire and sword in your tone. It is the butter you carve. It is the sound you eat. It is the stare of the scope. It is the cream of your peak. It is the lands you will dwell. It is the caves you will seek. It is the palm you will grasp. It is the fact that you'll beat. It is the scramble of the eggs. It is the omelette of Prakrit. It is the Lego that you broke to have it all reflected. It is the titty that you sucked. It is the milk that brought you up. It is the fire that burned you down. It is the stereotype that carved the sound. It is my stomach that is now howling. It is the gut of instinct. It is the knowing of your prowling and the curiosity that has been extinct. It is the one and the two. It is the A all Zeus. It is the X. It is the earth. It is the cross of the T. It is the circle that has yoked it just to get an experience of me. It is individuality that became. It is the all one. Nothing becomes. It is the infinity in a loop. It is the creation unsung. It is the thoughts that mattered. It is the matters that thought. It is the bringer of light, and it is the bringer of what is brought. It is the bring and the brang. It is the brim. It is the ram, as a Vulcan with his rings and trinkets veiled the moon, as Hephaestus Mercury the hermaphrodite, for Ares in a chastity net or belt or whatever it was swooned. It was Marduk who tied the tails of the asteroids thus. It is the orbit of Pluto giving a watchful tower of us. It is the screen. It is the pool. It is the whirl. It is the drool. It is the foam. It is the sea. It is the bubble. It is Aditi. It is Prakriti. It is Niti. It is all of you. It is none of me. It is a song unsung. It is a rhyme rung. It is a ladder climbed. It is a soul you'll find. What's up, everybody? My name is Kalen. I am the Key Keeper, and tonight we have another supreme load shedding moment of the serene brooks and the winds and the banshee scream of the fairy tale winds and the wings of the bloom and the dragon of the tale and the fire who met Daphne under a watery veil and the SpongeBob who had courage as the pineapple snail, the Taurus Aleph to the calf from the Grail. And now I just want to speak about what today has been like, what have we been up to, what has been going on within the notion of at Pure Keys Lake Key Keepers. So comment down below, guys. How have you guys been doing? What have you guys been keying in? What have you guys been unlocking within yourselves and within just the wholeness of everything that is just, I feel like it's so beyond geometry and images that we are striving to venerate, and somehow we have this very humbling notion to not to ourselves. And it's interesting because we know we will be petrified in the images of our potential ideals or striving towards them in a realm of fields, because it all can be so extradited when someone tells you it's not real, and therefore the solipsism is singularly defined to what your narrative seals in the words that you use to compensate for the deal and the cards you've been dealt and the tarot of the wheel and the revolution of evolution in the wholenism, holism and revolution of the Uranus-Saturn cycle and the Neptunian illusion and the Venus flitters and the mercurial gaze and the gender bending of principles and the Archangel Gabriels and all of this that can be true even though I am not even saying it. It is true because great ones have been relaying it. And yeah, I want to tap more into this poetry speak. I want to not be a blackguard and a hierophiliac and a sapiosexual and just all these religious fetishized notions that siphons the words into these meaningful potions, because it is writing your psychosexual chemistry a la spiritually of just the whole hitting the Mount of Olives on the pineal seat, the throne Ophiuchus sees back to the Taurus bullseye, Serpentarius is Abhijit, and before the whole split of the cosmic egg and the divine androgyne swell long and fade, and the hair keeps on growing, and Rapunzel as a story our channel has shared. Flower, gleam and glow, let your power shine. Makes the clocks reverse, bring back what once was mine. How is it all true? And why isn't it you? And why would you be angry if the reflection I am is just as perfect as you? Because my light couldn't be contained as an impurity from darkness stained, and my projection couldn't be something my reflection couldn't see. So who's trying to hide when Princess Donkey Skin is also me, and the Midas touch eyed with the gold of the steed and the dysmorphic ride of the archetypes that androgyne me, and the hormonal adrenalize of the Mrigashira gaslighting Rohini. And who is this? Does it Indra? Who is Prajapati? And does he generate Ra? Who is Isis? And her frozen reflection, Athena Medusa, we gaze as we see. Who is Nephthys and Hathor, the disappearing other sisters who Mercury besieged when he travels from guardian to oracular seed, when the light from the crown is the messenger's deed. And he said it, Mercury became Venus indeed. So the whole vision that I had of a butter knife scraping the ocean waves for the glittering seeds, and my subscribers playlist, it took me in the Mary of star seeds, because it was all of me and yet I was the none. It was the whole of me, forming the 0 point to the 1. It was all of this math that my thoughts scaled to my art. It was a Libra dance in a library of dot. It was a Uranian bolt and a Prometheus journey scene. It was my creative Shakti unlocked and a light. My darkness gleams, and the two are now yoked, and I can speak in extremes, and I may be a blackguard, but my voice still wants to spell dreams. And I want to speak truth, and I want to act in what I do. I want to be what I am. I want to be Shu. I want to be this, and I want to be that. I want to be an alien and an homunculi bat. Because my mind already went there because of the shit that was spat when people who looked different than me told me the level that I was at, and they thought they knew based on what they know, and yet they are screwed because they still have to get into their own flow. And does the genius arrive, or is it ever within me? Is it the demon of the Damon eyes who sees the stars behind their night sheet, and the mare of the Mars of the nightmare black Amrit, and the churning of the ocean, and the hordes of Sajit, and the tale that it became, and the color that it yoked, and the divide that it pained, because of the unity that it spoke, because the trifold light gave a refraction of thee, and it split the O into the eye of a peacock sea, and the high E of the Uranus castrati, and the siren of the world-building mermaids, the seamen would feed. And the ferryman of the sticks that Charon the splintering heels of the silver and the gold that were shimmers unto heed the great invasion of a cosmic steed, the inhalation of her egg indeed, the shocking Shakti of a fairy transformed, the butterfly effect of a Mandela reborn, and the inverted eyes and the cold contracted gaze and the statuesque eyes of a light within a haze, and the impressions of eye through which I can gauge the satin of Gorgonza, the tapestry waves, the image, the unity, the 0 and the 1, the begottenness of nothing that proves itself someone, the multiplicity of all, the magic of 3, the division of Eve, and the evening of Mercury, the brightness of the sun, the reflection of the moon, the angles that it cast when it arrived, even as Oshun, when once it was feminine, and the male now wears its face, with a robe and a garb and a dress to cut his face, when his bullseye points from the earth through Malkuth, through the vulcanization of the Neptune to Beirut, These archetypes, what do they say? Why am I speaking without dismay? Why can I trust that it will still be? Why can I see what is unseen? Why can I hear that which is not formed? Why is it stereoscopic when the colors are dimensionally inborn? Why is it divided when the U has a W? Why is it an O when a line can create a Q? Why is it Aries and flipped on its head it's a bar? Why is it lie, law, and lioya? So why, Medea? Why did it gaze? Why did the rainbow, the serpent, embrace? Why was it brazen? And why was it inflamed? Why was it sanctified? Why was it veined? What is the devil if God saw wickedness in you? What is creation if you are not an infinitude of oohs and ahs and the berashit of the Ras and these cosmic turtles and the mounds we drew up through the Jedi hook and the Enneagram smut, because it all became so confusing and I tried channeling someone else and now it's like they have seen me trying to break the spells and now I don't know if I'm getting in too deep, but all I know is that the reflections of truth speaks, because even if I cam cut and cap cut it this way, the Filmora will roll and the pictures will align to what I had to say, and the subtitles might even give me Andrews and Giants of May when I'm trying to talk about mermaids and divas and Mariah Carey.